I have decided to study, write, and also create a short documentary about leadership because nowadays I see how crucial this is in the business world. By knowing that many people these days think of being a leader as someone who just gives orders and make commandments, I personally feel the need of declaring this truth that being a leader just doesn't have anything to do with just giving orders and creating rules. Countless businessmen believe that they must be some kind of an autocratic person, so his employees will respect him, and that is why I sense the feeling of researching and then spreading to everyone this topic, so whoever watches this short documentary will see that my point, and also some other people's, is that being a boss is vastly distinct from being a leader. My focus mainly is on the difference between being a boss and being a leader in a business environment. How both of them think, how they treat their employees, the way they see their customers, and so on. My goal is to show you how to detect a boss and a true leader in your school, in your church, in your family, but especially in your business territory. And I'd like to start with the first difference between them. A boss only cares about himself. A leader cares about others. John Maxwell, often called the country's #1 leadership authority and author of many leadership books, declares that a successful person finds the right place for himself, but a successful leader finds the right place for others. Maxwell wants to show you that one of the mainly focus of a leader is on others. A leader develops people to be better than themselves. However, a boss only uses them to reach his greedy goals. What a leader mostly cares about is his folks' growth. He's always trying to add some value to his friends, to his family, and his employees. He wants them to surpass their limits, to become the best version of themselves. A leader wants to plant a seed in each people's heart so they can bear many fruits of success. As life goes on, whether at school, home, or work, people might make mistakes. And a huge difference between a boss and a leader is how each one of them reacts to that. A boss would definitely yell and scold those who have made a mistake, without even having a little bit of compassion with them. A boss may know how it is done. However, a leader patiently corrects those mistakes by showing how it is done, by kindly teaching and giving instructions to them. Additionally, John Maxwell makes that crystal clear when he states that leadership is not about titles, positions, or flowcharts. It is about one life influencing another. A leader encourages others even though they might struggle and feel discouraging. A leader motivates them to keep going, to fight for growth, and to fight for their development, while a boss is unable to do so. Due to his lack of empathy, he just promotes fear instead of relationships. Then John Maxwell strikes again when he says, if you're a leader, you should never forget that everyone needs encouragement, and everyone who receives it, young or old, successful or less than successful, unknown or famous, is changed by it. A boss says I, a leader says we. Steve Jobs, an American entrepreneur and founder of Apple, mentions the importance of teamwork when he says, great things in business are never done by one person. They are done by a team of people. Henry Ford, an American industrialist and founder of the Ford Motor Company, also referenced to teamwork by saying, coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. These great influencers knew that there was no way they could grow and thrive by themselves. They'd have to have other people to collaborate with their work. Plus, there's an African proverb that perfectly describes teamwork, which says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. Leaders focus on working together. They focus on creating relationships and connections with other people. A boss might be happy to have employees that work for him. However, a leader is pleased to have colleagues to work with him. If the company, for example, is being profitable and thriving, the boss usually takes the credit for himself. But the leader shares the credit with everyone else because he recognizes that company is not made up of one person only, but a team. A boss uses people. A leader develops them. Zig Ziglar, an American author and motivational speaker, declares in one of his books, See You at the Top, the following: "You can get everything in life you want if you help enough people get what they want." Bosses use their employees to get successful, to reach their goals, and to be honest, they do not seem to care much about their employees' growth or success. A boss sees himself as someone taming his dog to do what he wants. On the other hand, leaders teach their employees to be better than themselves and to be better than him as well. Bosses are like a roof to others, keeping them from going higher. However, leaders are like a floor, supporting you to grow and not setting any limits. A boss wants to be served, and a leader wants to serve. Last, but certainly not least, I'd like to cite Jesus, not the religious, but the historical man. He then says, "If anyone wants to be the first, he must become the last and servant of all." Although Jesus' disciples called him Master, and they believed that he had authority, Jesus showed them that a leader should serve others. And to set an example for that, they had a get-together and Jesus knelt down and washed their feet. And for me, this is one of the greatest examples of leadership I see in history. The purpose of a leader is to serve others. All these concepts in this documentary come from the simple idea: a leader should serve those around him. He should add value to their lives. He should help them grow. But how does this affect a business? Well, leaders determine values. They build relationship with employees, and that affects their relationship with their customers. Plus, a leader focuses on developing his employees, hence increasing the value of service in a company. They prepare the employees to grow. They create a good environment, and they teach others to do the same. Having a company where the employees are very qualified and where there is a good environment for relationship not only between the leader and his employees, but the employees and their customers, I'm sure everyone would choose this business over any other. Finally, it is true that there are people who are born leaders. However, there are also people who chose to become leaders. They learn and they excel at it. By the end of this documentary, you probably thought about someone that you consider a boss or maybe a leader. Or maybe thought about some attitudes that you find others doing, or even yourself sometimes. But my question for you is this: are you willing to become a leader who creates relationships, connections, who add value to other people's lives and develop them to grow? Or you want to be a boss who is not respected but feared? Instead of creating connections, just distance others around you. If you chose to be a boss, unfortunately, you're gonna have to live with that until you make up your mind. However, if you chose to be a leader, then start by serving others today.